One celebration sent a player to the emergency room.
Celebration at home plate.
Well, we're talking about the celebration, and everybody's excited, and it looks like that left leg just kind of buckled.
Another was so bad, it caused one of the biggest brawls in MLB history.
The bench is empty now.
These are band celebrations in the MLB. But first, let's start with a band that left a bitter taste in the mouths of a team after they ate something sweet. The Baltimore Orioles had a unique way of celebrating their victories. Back in mid-September 2014, when they won the American League East Championship, they weren't popping champagne to mark the special occasion. Oh no.
Orioles are champions of the AL East.
Instead, the players were cream pieing each other and the fans. And I'm not exaggerating here. Take a look for yourself. Adam Jones was walking around with dessert and chucking it in the faces of people like it was a commercial or a freaking movie. Everyone had a good laugh. But what started as a joke with shaving cream and pie tins slowly turned into a tradition for the team. However, players soon started complaining about the burns in their eyes that the shaving cream caused. So, a local baking company called Dangerously Delicious Pies took it upon themselves to supply real pies and keep the celebration ritual alive. Adam Jones would always be lurking around after the game, waiting for the star of the game to get interviewed before bombing their face with pastry and jam. The Orioles sure did bring a whole new meaning to the phrase "sweet victory." But all good things must come to an end, even victory celebrations with confectionaries. Because in 2016, the Orioles banned their players from celebrating this way. And their excuse was that it wasn't safe. I don't know what part of pie to the face spells harm and danger, but the Orioles were doing too much with that one. Adam Jones was the messenger who brought the bad news to the fans, and it hurt him more than anybody that the pie celebrations were no more.
It became our celebration, man, and it was fun. We got really good pies, and it just kind of sucked when they took it away because it was just like something that was like our signature moniker.
But the Orioles weren't the only team to have a trademark celebration scrapped for the weirdest of reasons, because this next team knows exactly how that feels. Dugout celebrations are special and unique. It's when baseball players really let out the child in them. From trolleys to wigs to even samurai hats, there aren't many dugout celebrations MLB players haven't done yet.
To put on Kabuto, back to back to back.
But the Braves celebration went so hard that the MLB had to go, not here. Because at the start of the 2023 season, a Brave fan tossed the oversized baseball hat into the Braves dugout. And that's when the team had the idea of wearing it every time their players returned to the dugout after hitting a home run. They did the celebration a lot of times because they just kept on hitting home run after home run after home run.
Infield coming in, it's not gonna matter. Ha ha ha!
The Braves hit so many home runs that they tied the record for most home runs by a franchise in the regular season with 307. But the MLB decided to go for the hats instead of placing a ban. And it wasn't because they were batting so well. The company New Era, which makes baseball hats for the MLB, complained that the oversized hats were not their products, so they had no business sitting on the heads of MLB players.
Company New Era, which officially supplies hats to Major League Baseball, complained, and yes, no more giant hats.
What a way to kill the fun in the dugouts, New Era. If the big hat not being made by you were such a big deal, why didn't you start making them? But while the Atlanta Braves were the only ones frowning at this banned celebration, the next celebration was banned for every MLB team. Back in 2020 during COVID, the sports world took a hit as they played without fans, from football to basketball to even baseball. But the MLB's COVID policies didn't just stop at no fans. They also banned alcohol from clubhouses. What? Did the MLB ban booze? They sure did.
Not in my house.
They put a halt to the age-long tradition of MLB teams celebrating wins with alcohol. This change couldn't have come at a worse time, because the league had altered the playoffs to seed 16 teams instead of the normal 12. So that's 4 more locker rooms that could have had champagne showers. This was a real party pooper move by the MLB, but 2020 was a very dire time for the world generally, so these measures were necessary. That meant that no one, not even the eventual World Series winners, the Dodgers, got to celebrate.
Dodgers have won it all in 2020.
That's a real bummer, because how do you win your first World Series in over 30 years only to celebrate it with no champagne?
You can only have so much fun in one lifetime.
I'm sure the MLB felt bad doing this, because it seemed when the world was back to normal, this celebration was no longer banned. Because if they didn't, I'm sure the Houston Astros would have gotten in a lot of trouble and hit with a heavy fine for this. But that's not even as crazy as these types of celebrations, which got banned in a way you would least expect. Players have an unwritten code of conduct that they follow, and one thing players know better than to do is hurl their bats in the air when they hit a home run. That's right, players aren't supposed to rub it into the opposition's face when they hit a homer. Seeing your team concede a home run is bad enough, but that hasn't necessarily stopped players from showboating, even though it's not a bad toss. However, cynical actions have diabolical consequences. Just ask Carlos Gomez, who hit a homer and was catcalling Brave fielders on his way around the bases.
And he hits that one high and deep left center field, way back and gone.
Back in 2013, when Gomez hit a home run at the top of the first inning off of Paul Mahomes' pitch, he decided to stare him down and bask in the moment. Braves catcher Brian McCann wasn't having any of it and decided to let Gomez have it.
And McCann getting face-to-face with Gomez. He has not stepped on the plate yet.
What followed could only be described as pure chaos, as Gomez completely abandoned his run to the base and approached McCann before the dugouts emptied. 6 years after that incident, Tim Anderson of the White Sox flung his bat in a display of arrogance after he hit a dinger. He was already leading the league in batting, and what he just did only fueled his cockiness.
Tim crushes this ball. He throws the bat, the ball goes flying, it is gone!
Surely this struck a nerve for the Royals, and they had their own reply, and nothing would prepare him for what would come his way at the next at-bat. Bard Keller threw a pitch aimed directly at Anderson. Tempers were already hot, and before you knew it, both dugouts were out on the field. Funny how this all started from a player bragging in front of his opponents. You just gotta love the MLB. But sometimes, people don't do celebrations because of a ban or an unwritten rule. Because this next player got this player sent to the ER. In 2009, after Derek Lee hit a game-tying run in a matchup between the Cubs and Giants, his teammates gave him a hero's welcome when he returned to the dugout. Maybe a little bit too much of a hero's welcome, because Angel Guzman gave Lee a slap on the head. And that was all it took to make Lee's neck suffer spasms and have him sit out for the rest of the game. Guzman probably forgot that his teammate had a terrible home plate collision some years ago. Lee would definitely be wagging his finger every time anyone got overexcited in the dugouts with him after that. But at least Derek Lee made it to the dugout, because this player didn't even make it to the home plate in one piece. A celebration that we won't see MLB players doing is jumping to home base. Why? Well, let's just say Kendry Morales showed us just why. When he hit a game-winning grand slam against the Mariners back in the 2010 season, he had his teammates out of the dugouts waiting for him near the home plate. It was the perfect moment.
Infield in, Kendry Morales at the plate, and he shoots it into deep center field.
Except that Morales let the excitement get to his head, and he decided to leap onto the home plate. This resulted in him slipping and hurting his foot so badly that he left the field on a stretcher. He was placed on the disabled list and had to undergo surgery for this. But which celebration do you feel needs to be banned, and which one should be brought back? Let us know in the comment section. And while you're at it, check out this video right here.